Hello FPL managers, today we're rating other FPL YouTubers Game Week 1 drafts. In today's video we take a look at 5 various YouTubers and have a look at their teams and rate them out of 10 coming into the new FPL season. Use the code FLAIR65 for 65% off fantasy football fix and get yourself a free strategy guide for the new season. You can also click the top link in the description to get this discount code as well. So just before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and also click that notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So having a look at the first draft on the list is FPL Mate's team. FPL Mate has gone with Sanchez and Foster as his 2 goalkeepers, which are my personal goalkeepers as well. I do think these players are quite good options, especially considering their good value. Sanchez does jump out as the best £4.5 million goalkeeper in the game, which is why he has a very high ownership of around 25%. Him and Foster are the second and third highest owned keepers respectively in FPL at the moment, and I definitely think they're going to be the 2 most common options. Moving on to the defenders, starting off with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is coming in with a very high 27.7% ownership, which does make him the second highest owned defender, and I definitely do think despite his high price tag he's a great option. Moving on to Luke Shaw, he is the top owned defender in the game with around a 46% ownership. This is actually 20% higher than any other defender, and it is clear to see why he's such a good option. He had a brilliant Euros tournament for England and offers very strong attacking output as he got himself 1 goal and 5 assists last year. Also, United have a very good defence as they kept 10 clean sheets last year, and you definitely would expect this to increase with the signing of Varane to their team. They have some great fixtures to start the year of Leeds, Southampton, Wolves and Newcastle, so you definitely would expect Shaw to be one of the highest scoring defenders after the first 4 matches. And as his third defender, he has gone with Ben White, who has newly transferred to Arsenal. They faced Brentford in the first week of the season, which is looking promising for a clean sheet, and at just £4.5 million, Ben White should be starting their defence and looks to be great value. They do face Chelsea and City in Game Week 2 and 3, but then from Game Weeks 4 all the way to Game Week 11, they don't have a single match with an FDA rating of over 3, which definitely makes them a good long-term option. Now moving on to the midfielders, starting with Mo Salah. He definitely is the obvious option to go for in the middle of the park, and that's why he has put him on captaincy, which I think is a great choice. Liverpool do face Norwich in the first game week of the season, and you would expect Salah to do quite well in this game. He actually has the highest predicted Game Week 1 points by Fantasy Football Fix, and I think over the first 6 weeks he's going to be a very good option. Obviously Liverpool have great fixtures, and despite his high price tag, you definitely would expect him to be a top scoring player. Moving on to the other premium midfielder, it is Heung-min Son from the Spurs. He has seen a price rise to £10 million this year, and he has got a tricky fixture in Game Week 1 against Manchester City. Despite this, he was one of the top scoring players last year, and he also performed quite well in the pre-season for Spurs, getting himself a goal in their match. After Man City, they do face Wolves, Watford and Crystal Palace, so he definitely is a great starting option for these matches as well. He is obviously a couple of £1 million cheaper than the other common midfield premium option in Bruno Fernandes, so for that reason Son could be a nice cheap alternative. Mahrez at £9 million also looks to be a great differential option for Man City if he can get some starting minutes. It is a big if whether he gets the consistent starting minutes that we're all after for him, but obviously Man City have a very strong attack, and if he can start then he will definitely be one of the highest point getters. And to cap off the midfield is another differential option in Jarrod Bowen. This is an interesting choice as I haven't really seen him in many teams, but at £6.5 million he could be decent value as they face Newcastle, Leicester, Palace and Southampton as their first 4 matches. Bowen did get himself 141 FPL points last year and has kind of flown under the radar, so he definitely could be a nice differential shout. Moving on to the forwards, Patrick Bamford is a good choice at £8 million. Ollie Watkins does seem to be a very obvious one at £7.5 million, and I definitely think he's going to be a great option, especially for the first 3 weeks as they face Watford, Newcastle and Brentford. And Callum Wilson is slightly more differential with just a 5% ownership, but at £7.5 million with a decent starting batch of fixtures could be a good differential punt. And as the bench options, apart from Foster, he has gone with Brownhill, Ayling and Omobama Dele. These are obviously the minimum price options for the respective positions, and I do think these are all fairly decent options. Moving on to the next draft, this one is from Let's Talk FPL. He has gone with the same goalkeeper combination as FPL Mate with Sanchez and Foster as his 2 keepers. As I said before, these are probably the 2 best goalkeepers for their price tag in the game, which is why they have such a high ownership. Having a look at his defence, he has also gone with Alexander-Arnold, who I think is a great option to have and almost essential to have in the team. At £7.5 million, he is the most expensive defender, but you would expect him to get some great points in the first 6 matches, especially with Liverpool's great fixtures. Souf Fowler at £5 million looks to be very good value this season, and I personally think he's one that's gone under the radar, especially considering West Ham's defensive solidarity last year, and considering that he also got himself 9 assists. Newcastle away is also a decent fixture for Game Week 1, which hopefully West Ham can get a clean sheet in, and Sufal could potentially get those attacking returns as well. Moving on, he has gone with that double up in Brighton defence with Veltman at 4.5 million. He should be a good option in terms of attacking output, as obviously Lamptey is injured. If he can start Tariq Lamptey, then you would think Veltman may not get the minutes, but at the moment I do think he's a great option at 4.5 million. Ayling is his bench option at 4.5, who I think could be a good choice, as Leeds' defence has been shored up with a couple of players coming back from injury, and they did have a fairly decent clean sheet count last year. Moving on to the midfielders, it is a star-studded lineup in the middle of the park with 5 players all priced above £6 million. Salah and Fernandes are 2 obvious premium options at 12.5 and 12 million respectively. I definitely think these 2 players will be some of the highest scoring midfielders for the new FPL season and are definitely good choices. Sancho is part of the Manchester United double up for Let's Talk FPL's midfield. I do think this is a decent shout, although it could be quite risky going that double up on that Manchester United attack, but I definitely think this team is fairly solid with that double attack. Moving on to Rafinha at 6.5 million, he looks to be great value as he had a very nice XG per 90 last year, and Ismaila Sarr at £6 million is also projected to get quite a lot of points in the first 6 weeks of the season by Fantasy Football Fix, so I definitely think he could be a good differential punt. Forwards of Watkins and Antonio do look to be very nice options, and on the bench he has gone with Foster, Ayling, Davis and Omobama Dele, obviously with that third forward option being the minimum price in Keenan Davis. And moving on to the third YouTuber's team, it is FPL Tips. He is the third consecutive YouTuber to go with Sanchez and Foster as their goalkeeping combinations, which as I said before should be a very popular combo. He has gone with Luke Shaw at 5.5 million. I definitely think he's a great choice being the top owned defender. He definitely has one of the highest projected points for defenders for the first 6 weeks, and with United's strong defence this season you definitely would expect him to increase his clean sheet count. He has gone with the Trent and Robertson double up for that Liverpool defence, which is obviously slightly risky, but Liverpool obviously have a very good defence this year with Van Dijk coming back into the team. Also, Joe Gomez did get some minutes in the Liverpool warm-up match against Hertha Berlin. You would expect Trent and Robertson to be 2 of the highest scoring defenders this season, so it is feasible to go with a double up, especially considering their good short-term fixtures. And for his £4.5 million options, he has gone with Ayling and Ait-Nouri. I do think Ayling's a good choice, but I'm not too sure about Ait-Nouri's starting minutes for Wolves. Obviously, they do have Marcel as that other £4.5 million option in left back, so we'll have to see in terms of the starting minutes for him. He has also gone with the obvious Salah and Fernandes midfield duo. I do think these are 2 of the best premium options in the middle of the park, and he has gone with Salah on captaincy, which I think is the right choice. Then as his third midfielder, he has gone with Rafinha at £6.5 million, which is obviously great value options in the middle of the park, but then he has gone with 2 bench options at £4.5 million for Gilmore and Brownhill respectively. This obviously means that he can probably only play a maximum of 3 midfielders in any given week, so it does offer him slightly less flexibility in the middle of the park. And up top he has gone with DCL, Tony and Danny Ings. DCL I think is a great choice as well as Ivan Toney. Danny Ings is a nice differential punt at 8 million. He is slightly more expensive than other options such as the likes of Antonio or Watkins, but if you do back him in for some early points then he is a good choice. And for his bench options he has gone with Foster, Ayling, Brownhill and Gilmore for Game Week 1, which I think are probably the best options. Moving on to the fourth squad, this one is from Davey FPL. Davey FPL is the 4th consecutive YouTuber to go with Sanchez and Foster as the goalkeeping combination, as this is obviously a very common pick. As his 3 starting defenders, he has gone with Shaw, Trent and Robertson, as he has gone with 3 premium defenders. I do think these 3 players should be the top 3 scoring defenders next year, so I definitely think that's a nice choice. Lamptey and Williams are his 4th and 5th defenders. Lamptey is obviously currently injured, but if he can start for the first game of the season, then he is definitely great value at 4.5 million in that Brighton defence. Having a look at the midfield now, Traore from Aston Villa, I definitely think is a nice differential punt. I was personally looking at him for a bit at £6 million, and he should have a very good start to the season with Aston Villa's great fixtures. He has continued with the Aston Villa theme with Emi Buendia as his 3rd midfielder option. I definitely think at 6.5 million he could be a nice differential punt, as he only has an 11% ownership currently. And then for his premium mids, he has gone with Salah and Fernandes. This is obviously a very common combination, as they should be 2 of the highest scoring midfielders next year. And as the 3 forwards up top, he has gone with Tony, Watkins and Antonio, which I think are 3 very solid forward options for the next season. Antonio, especially at 7.5 million, I think has been a bit overlooked by other FPL managers, as he did have the highest XG per 90 last year at 0.64, tied with Harry Kane. And as his bench, he has gone with Foster, Lamptey, Williams and Brownhill, who I all think are nice choices. And now moving on to the 5th and final YouTuber's team, this one is from Nathan Bacon. Nathan Bacon has gone with the differential goalkeeper option in Bachmann and Foster as his combination. These two Watford keepers I think should be very good options, as Watford did get themselves the most clean sheets in the EFL Championship last season. Obviously with going for two keepers from the same team, it does secure that starting goalkeeper every single week, and with just a 2.6% ownership, Bachmann could be a good differential punt. Watford have Villa, Brighton, Spurs and Wolves as their first 4 matches, which I think is a decent batch of fixtures to start the new year. For his defenders, he has gone with Trent, which I think is a great option at 7.5 million. This is accompanied with Luca Dean at 5.5, who I also think could be a very nice punt coming into the new season. Obviously Everton's defence isn't the strongest, but Dean did get himself 9 assists last year, and seeing a £500,000 price drop does make him all the more tempting. Lewis Dunk at £5 million for Brighton, who I think could be a nice pick. He is £500,000 more expensive than the likes of Lamptey and Veltman, and he does offer that extra attacking potential from corners with his headers. And as his 4th starting defender, he has gone with Ayling at 4.5 million, which I think is a good choice. For his 5th defensive option, he has gone with Manquillo on the bench at 4 million, who is obviously the budget enabler. As his midfield 3, he has gone with Salah, Sancho and Rafinha, who all should be good options coming into the new FPL season. And for his forwards, he has gone with the premium option in Harry Kane. He is the only FPL YouTuber on this list to have Harry Kane in the forward line, who I definitely think could be a nice shout, as I would expect him to stay at Spurs. And then as his final 2 options, Antonio and Watkins are all very good choices at 7.5 million, and on his bench he has gone with Foster, Brownhill, Gilmore and Manquillo. Obviously with the 2 bench midfielder options, he can only really play with 3 midfielders in 1 week, but I still think this is a great team. So now moving on to the team ratings out of 10, I'll give FPL Mate's team a 9 out of 10. I do rate his differential punts in midfield of Son, Mahrez and Bowen, as I think all those 3 options could be good punts coming into the new campaign. For Let's Talk FPL, I'll give his team a 9 out of 10 as well. The only thing that doesn't make it a 10 out of 10 is potentially having Keenan Davis as that 3rd forward option, as I do think having 3 forwards offers more flexibility. For FPL Tips team, I give his team an 8.5 out of 10. The things that I would improve include Aït-Nouri could potentially be switched to Marcel. I'm still not sure he's going to get more starting minutes, and I don't know about Danny Ings at £8 million compared to the likes of Watkins or Antonio. For Davey FPL, I think he has got a very strong team and give it 9.5 out of 10. That double premium defence in Trent and Robertson should get himself plenty of points coming into the new campaign, and I definitely think it's a good all-round squad. And for Nathan Bacon's team, I give his team a 9 out of 10. I do rate Harry Kane as the forward option instead of Bruno Fernandes, as he has gone with Sancho as that Manchester United substitute, so I definitely think that's a nice choice of Salah, Sancho and Kane compared to the likes of Salah and Fernandes. So that's all we've got for today for rating other FPL YouTubers Game Week 1 drafts. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to show support for the channel. And once again, click that notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. Also, leave a comment what you guys thought of these other FPL YouTubers teams and how are your squads lining up for Game Week 1 of the new season. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.